All right, let's jump right in. We're about to unpack the incredible 600-year story of Mysuru, one of India's most enchanting cities. And trust me, it's a tale that's got everything: myths, monarchs, and some seriously impressive modernization. But it all kicks off with a pretty wild question.
Yeah, to really get Mysuru, you've got to go back to the beginning, to a story that sounds like something out of a fantasy novel. So here's the big question. How in the world did a mythical, buffalo-headed demon king end up naming one of India's most beautiful cities, a place we now call the City of Palaces?
Okay, so to answer that question, we need to rewind way back. Because here's the thing about Mysuru. Its history isn't just something you read in a textbook. No, it's literally woven into the legend of how the city even began.
You know, the name itself is where the story starts. The legend goes that this whole area was once the turf of a demon king named Mahisura. Well, he was eventually taken down in this epic battle by the goddess Chamundeshwari. And get this, it happened on the very hill that's named after her today. So from Mahishuru, which literally means the town of Mahisha, we get the name Mysuru. Pretty cool, right?
So right out of this incredible myth, a very real and very powerful dynasty steps onto the scene. We're talking about the year 1399. Two brothers, Yadureya and Krishnaraya, show up and establish a family that would go on to rule for nearly 6 centuries. I'm talking, of course, about the Wadiyars.
Now, the Wadiyars, they didn't just start out as kings. Not at all. Their story is this amazing climb from being local feudal lords to becoming powerful, independent rulers. It's like a masterclass in political ambition and strategy, and it really shows you that sometimes good timing is everything.
Let's look at how they pulled this off. They start out in 1399 basically as vassals to the huge Vijayanagar Empire. But then, in 1565, that empire starts to crumble, and what do the Wadiyars do? They jump on the opportunity and declare their independence. Smart move. Then, in 1610, comes the real game changer. Raja Wadiyar I makes this brilliant strategic decision to move the capital to Srirangapatna. This wasn't just any town, it was an island fortress, making it super easy to defend and securing their power for a long, long time. All right, so for more than 350 years, things are going pretty well for the Wadiyars. They're expanding, they're cementing their rule, but then, right around the middle of the 18th century, the plot thickens. A new power starts to rise up, and this time it's not coming from another royal family. Nope, it's coming from inside the house, right from the ranks of their own military. And you can really see the power shift right here. On one hand, you have the Wadiyar kings. They still had the fancy title, Wadiyar, or Lord, but in reality, their power was basically gone. It was just for show. Because the real authority, the true power, was now held by their top military commander, Hyder Ali, and later his incredibly famous son, Tipu Sultan. These guys were the ones actually calling the shots.
Now, it's easy to just call Tipu Sultan a usurper, but he was so much more than that. The man was a total visionary. He pioneered what were known as Mysorean rockets. These things were so advanced, they're considered a precursor to the rockets we have today. The British? They were terrified of him. They considered him their single most dangerous opponent in all of India. On top of that, he was a brilliant administrator and a fierce, fierce protector of his kingdom, fighting 4 huge wars against the British to keep it independent.
But this whole intense chapter, it comes to a very dramatic close. In 1799, the British lay siege to his capital, Srirangapatna, and it's there, during that final, brutal battle, that Tipu Sultan, the Tiger of Mysore, is killed. His death wasn't just the end of his life, it was the end of his rule, the end of the Sultanate, and it completely changed the game once again.
So, with Tipu Sultan gone, what do the British do? Well, they decide to put the Wadiyar dynasty back on the throne. And this single decision kicks off a whole new golden age for the city. It's the beginning of Mysuru's transformation into what many considered a model city for all of India.
And the man at the heart of this renaissance was Krishnaraja Wadiyar IV. You have to understand, this king was so beloved, so respected for being forward-thinking and genuinely caring about his people that he was given a special title, Rajarshi. It means saintly king. And let me tell you, he absolutely lived up to that name. I mean, just look at what he accomplished. This was his blueprint for a modern state. Back in 1903, he set up one of India's very first city planning boards. Think about that. He's the reason Mysuru has these wide, beautiful roads and public parks. And that magnificent Mysore Palace that everyone knows? Yep, that was him, finished in 1912. But it wasn't just about making things look pretty. He founded the University of Mysore and even brought hydroelectric power to the area. He wasn't just a king, he was the architect of modern Mysore.
So, we've gone from mythic demons to warring sultans to visionary kings. It's been quite a ride. But what does all of that mean for the city today? How does all of this incredible, deep history still live and breathe in modern Mysuru?
Well, when India gained independence in 1947, the kingdom made a smooth, peaceful transition into the new nation. Today, it's a central part of the state of Karnataka. But that royal legacy? Oh, it's still very much alive. You can see it in the world-famous Dasara festival, which carries on traditions that are centuries old. And, of course, its nickname, the City of Palaces, that's not just a catchy phrase. It's a direct link back to the incredible, layered history we've just walked through.
And that really brings us to the big takeaway here. When you think about it, Mysore's story is one of constant change, of reinvention, from a demon's mythical home to a cutting-edge modern city. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? When a city's past is so rich, so visible on every street corner, how does it build its future?